with Bernie Sanders looking like he's getting ready to pretty much take it, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Sanders and Trump. We'll call it Tranders. Season of Tranders is going to begin. That's what I'm going to say. So we know what Trump's policies are pretty much. I mean, we've lived through 4 years of it. We kind of know what Sanders' policies are, but let's kind of take a deeper look at it and kind of see. So the reason I say Sanders is probably going to take it is, no, I mean, not the general election. I'm saying take the primary here. It's right around the corner. Polls have him taking New Hampshire. He's definitely ahead. I don't see Biden getting it. And it's such a weird situation. You've got the Bernie camp saying if it's anybody but Bernie, they're not going to vote for Biden. And then you got the Biden camp saying if it's anybody but Biden, they're not going to vote for Bernie. Fractured. Anyways. And then you've got Bernie not disavowing his staffers, and this is going to kill him in the primary if he doesn't, I mean, in the general election, if he doesn't handle this right now. If he doesn't come out and he doesn't say, hey, these staffers are not representative of my views, I mean, they look like absolute nuts. Just absolute nuts. But then you got to wonder, well, what exactly is Bernie Sanders' political and economic philosophy? Well, basically, he models it after Scandinavian countries. Sanders describes himself as a democratic socialist and an admirer of aspects of social democracy as practiced in the Scandinavian countries. Okay, so what are the Scandinavian countries about? Here we go. Based upon happiness, the Scandinavian countries are the ones that everybody wants to point to. They are the moral compass for the perfect socialist society. And they always rank up in the top 10 of countries of happy people, except for one group of people who thinks that they are not the happiest group of people, and that is the Scandinavians themselves. They don't believe they're the happiest people. And they definitely do have a high problem with alcohol abuse and drug abuse and things like that. But let's read this real quick and think of yourself in this situation as I read this. Could you see yourself liking being in this situation? You only work 28 hours a week. Sounds great on paper. Everybody's equal. There's no one higher, no one lower. You bring down the high people, you bring up the lower people. Sounds good on paper, right? Okay, but at only 28 hours a week, and you've got a lot of time on your hands. Idle hands is kind of a saying that has a good deep root in human nature. But let's read this and we'll discuss it as we go. Stick with me. Want proof that the liberal social democratic society works? Well, then you look to Denmark, the country that routinely leads the world in happiness surveys. It's also notable for having the highest taxes on earth, plus a comfy social safety net. Childcare is mostly free, as is public school and even private school, and you can stay on unemployment benefits for a long time. Everyone is on equal footing, both income-wise and socially. Go to a party, and you wouldn't be surprised to see a TV star talking to a roofer. Sounds great so far, right? Sounds like a utopia of everybody is equal and everybody shares in everything and everybody is altruistic. But everybody is not altruistic. People will abuse the system, and that's where we have problems. The combination of massive taxes... Stop. Massive taxes. Is that what you want? You want massive taxes? I don't. And benefits for the unsuccessful. Stop. So your massive taxes go to help individuals who are unsuccessful. And amongst those unsuccessful people are going to be people who are abusing the system. It's just going to happen. And it might be a small percentage, but when you have a large population, a small percentage is a huge drain on society financially. It is. It's like inviting your deadbeat cousin, your deadbeat uncle, your deadbeat whoever family member, pick anybody in the world, inviting some person that you know can work, but they just choose not to work, into your home and paying for their bills. It would be the same exact thing. Pretty much everybody is proudly middle class. The top gets shaved off and the bottom gets brought up. Danes belong to more civic associations and clubs than anyone else. They love performing in large groups. At Christmas parties, they do wacky things like, at Christmas, sorry, they do wacky things like hold hands and run around the house together singing festive songs. They're a real-life Whoville. Sounds fan-fucking-tastic. Sounds like just this great, awesome utopia. But it's not. It's a dystopia. It's a hidden dystopia with a mask of the utopia as the outside world looks in at it as this amazing, wonderful thing. But it's just not. In the American liberal compass, the needle is always pointing to places like Denmark. Everything they most fervently hope for here has already happened there. So why does no one seem particularly interested in visiting Denmark? Honey, on our European trip, I want to see Tuscany, Paris, Berlin, and Jutland. Yeah, no. You don't hear people saying that. Everything is costly. Taxes are very high. Visitors say Danes are joyless to be around. Denmark suffers from high rates of alcoholism. In its use of antidepressants, it ranks 4th in the world. Its fellow Nordics, the Icelanders, are in front by a wide margin. Some 5% of Danish men have had sex with an animal. Denmark's productivity is in decline. Its workers put in only 28 hours a week, and everybody you meet seems to have a government job. Oh, and as the Telegraph put it, it's the cancer capital of the world. So, how happy can these drunk, depressed, lazy, tumor-ridden, pig-boinking bureaucrats really be? Yeah. Is this the America we want? 5% of males having... And, my viewpoint on things like that is, on things like that, I would assume that a lot of females have as well. I would almost guarantee it because, I just don't think that the females are admitting it, and the males are like, yeah, I boinked that. Oh, dear God. This video's bombed from orbit. Give me a thumbs up or something for it. Yes. So this is what Sanders is saying is the epitome of what his political and economic philosophy is. He's got a lot of things that I don't believe are going to pass the muster as far as when people start going into it, when the election cycle starts beginning, when the race is really on. But right now it does look like Sanders is going to be the one taking on Trump. So it'll be a Tranders season. Anyways, let me know what you think, and if there's any Scandinavian pig boinkers watching, let me know. And oh dear Lord, I have no words. I don't even know why they put that in the article. Why was that? Yes. Thoughts and opinions. Yeah. I'll see you guys on the next one.